With just 707 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Jura Yu has a best lap time of 1:30.328. Roll Postmo is on their practice out lap. Lars posted a 1:29.554 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 705 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 705 minutes left in this practice session. Megasaurus 55 is on their first practice flying lap. Armin Sunoila posted 1:31.327 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Lars has a best lap time of 1:29.568. It's a lovely day for racing here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. With just 702 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Mr. Bang is getting to grips with the ACL TAR 70 Pontiac Firebird in this practice session. Jerry Yu has a best lap time of 1:30.328. Richard Rossier is on their practice out lap. There are just over 700 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 700 minutes left in this practice session. Roll Postma posted 1:28.569 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Sonoma posted a 1:34.173 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mr. Bang is on their first practice flying lap. Sonoma has a best lap time of 1:31.320. Jerry Yu has a best lap time of 1:30.328. Mr. Bang is on their first practice flying lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Megasaurus 55 posted 9:49.738 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mike O'Hagan is on their practice out lap. Jury U posted a 3:52.712 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 695 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 695 minutes left in this practice session. With just 694 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Mike O'Hagan is in T9. Richard Rossier has a best lap time of 1:29.234. Andreas Dittmann has a best lap time of 1:30.298. Roll Postma posted a 7:55.204 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? It's a lovely day for racing here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. With just 691 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Roll Postma has a best lap time of 1:29.400. There are just over 690 minutes left in this practice session. Sonoma posted 1:31.593 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Jerry Yu has a best lap time of 1:30.264. Richard Rossier posted a 1:32.550 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mike O'Hagan has a best lap time of 1:27.206. With just 687 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Lars posted 1:31.583 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Smells like we is getting to grips with the ACL TAR 70 Pontiac Firebird in this practice session. Mr. Bang has a best lap time of 1:33.311. Richard Rossier posted a 1:29.747 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 685 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 685 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 685 minutes left in this practice session. Smells Like We has a best lap time of 1:30.228. With just 684 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Megasaurus 55 posted 7:18.697 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Smells Like We has a best lap time of 1:30.228. Get ready for some high-octane action. Andreas Dittmann has completed their outlap. You can feel the tension building. Roll Postmo is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Mike O'Hagan is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Mike O'Hagan handles it.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Lars is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Roll Postma has completed their outlap. Roll Postma has completed their outlap. It looks like Lars has completed their outlap. Richard Rossier has completed their outlap. It's clear that Roll Postma is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit. There are just over 15 minutes left in this qualification session. Mike O'Hagan has completed their outlap. There are just over 15 minutes left in this qualification session. Richard Rossier has just completed that lap in 1:28.054. Their best lap so far is 1:29.066, putting them in P5. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Mr. Bang is on their first flying lap.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by Mr. Bang.
Mr. Bang has just completed a lap in 1:32.222. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Someone call the fire department, because Jury U is setting this track on fire with their performance. think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Mr. Bang going at lightning speed. Here we go, folks. The atmosphere is electric as the drivers prepare to unleash their machines on the track at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit for the qualifying session.
Let's see who's got the speed and the skills to take the pole position.
I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Mr. Bang going at lightning speed.
Well, Rob, it seems like Mr. Bang has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Mr. Bang will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session. I don't know about you, but I think Mike O'Hagan might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do, right, Rob? Mike O'Hagan is just showing us all what they're made of.
Mike O'Hagan will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session. Someone call the fire department because Jury U is setting this truck on fire with their performance.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're watching a superhero in action here?
Jury U is absolutely smashing it. Woohoo! Lars is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Jury U going at lightning speed.
I think we might need to start calling your U the Flash after that incredible lap time. What do you think, Rob?
Looks like Roll Postma is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there.
Well, Rob, it seems like Royal Postma has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Roll Postma has some work to do as that 3:12.964 is only good enough for 6th. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Armin Sunoiler has some work to do as that 129.875 is only good enough for 7th. Someone call the fire department because Jury U is setting this truck on fire with their performance. Woohoo! Armin Sunoiler is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go. Sonoma will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Jury Yu going at lightning speed. I don't know about you, but I think Richard Rosier might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
Looks like Richard Rosier is really cooking with gas out there today.
Time to bring out the marshmallows and let's toast some fuel. Someone call the fire department, because Andreas Dittmann is setting this track on fire with their performance. Looks like Richard Rosier is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Andreas Dittmann going at lightning speed.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're watching a superhero in action here?
Andreas Dittmann is absolutely smashing it. Andreas Dittmann has some work to do, as that 129.739 is only good enough for 6th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
Woohoo, Jury Yu is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do, right Rob? Your Yu is just showing...
Jury Yu has some work to do, as that 128.850 is only good enough for 7th. I don't know about you, but I think smells like we might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast. Smells like we will be happy having put themselves into 4th in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Impressive work from Jury Yu, who has claimed 5th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. Your Yu has positioned themselves impressively in 5th. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
Lars has secured a respectable 9th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Lars's current position of 9th is a testament to their skill and determination.
Lars has some work to do, as that 128.406 is only good enough for 9th.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure they can improve further on that.
A strong showing from Sonoma as they currently sit in 6th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that Sonoma has some work to do, as that 128.871 is only good enough for 6th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
What a performance from Megasaurus 55. They currently occupy 10th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Megasaurus 55 has done a fantastic job to claim 10th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
It's an impressive showing by Richard Rosier, currently in 3rd. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb high?
Spot-on analysis, Rob. Richard Rosier has positioned themselves well in 3rd. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
And there goes Richard Rossia, currently in position 3. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Absolutely, Rob. Richard Rosier has shown great potential to secure third. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit as we're getting ready to kick things off. Mike O'Hagan will lead the way from pole position. Roel Postma is placed in second. Taking the third spot is Richard Rossia. Taking off from the fourth grid slot is the skilled driver, Lars. Megasaurus 55 is going to be starting from fifth. Starting from 6th on the grid is a good position for Smells Like We to launch an attack.
But don't count them out yet, they've got the skills to pay the bills.
Our 7th place starter, Jerry Yu, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. As the engines roar to life, Armin Sunoiler prepares to take off from the 8th position on the starting grid. In the middle of the pack, we have Andreas Dittmann starting from the 9th position on the grid.
We've not seen the best from Andreas Dittmann yet.
Starting from the 10th position, Mr. Bang will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. The lights go out, and we are off to a flying start.
This opening stretch is like walking on eggshells. Gotta weave and dodge, all while keeping your foot on the gas.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit. I think we are in for a cracking race.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit. This is going to be good to watch.
Having started in 5, Megasaurus 55 will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
It's always intense racing here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit. Hold on to your hats, folks.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it.
I'm looking forward to this one, Rob, and we'll see a return to form for Andreas Dittmann in this outing at USA.
Tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
There's not much to report on from Lars at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps.
Consistency is key in racing. Lars just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
What a move. Lars has moved up to 8th.
Yes, Lars is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
The gap between Lars in 8th and Megasaurus 55 remains over a second, but Lars is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 33 minutes?
That's right. Lars in 8th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Megasaurus 55 is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Andreas Dittmann in 9th and Mr. Bang. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.6 seconds.
Andreas Dittmann is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and Mr. Bang is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race, and it's not over yet.
The race is really heating up. Armin Suneuler is hunting down Jerry Yu with everything they've got.
In the theater of speed, this is the climax. Every move is a headline, every overtake a potential plot twist.
It's a close race between Megasaurus 55 and Armin Suneuler in 6th. Megasaurus 55's not here to muck about. The gap to Armin Suneuler is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.1 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
I love being here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit. What an awesome place to be witnessing these titans of the track battle it out.
Indeed, Rob, what a magnificent sight and sound. I love listening to the roar of these engines. Let's just listen for a moment.
With every twist and turn, Megasaurus 55 is shadowing Armin Suneuler, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt.
The rubber's burning, the crowd's yearning, and Megasaurus 55's engine is churning to get past Armin Suneuler.
Look, it smells like we trying to close the gap on Richard Rossier, kind of like me trying to get close to a decent Barbie back home.
Barbie? Oh, you mean a barbecue. Yeah, but over here it's like trying to catch the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Smells like we needs to stay patient and wait for Richard Rossier to make a mistake.
Oh my, Megasaurus 55 is hot on the tail of Armin Suneuler. As they come into T8, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
Things are hotting up now, Rob, and it'll be interesting to see if they can improve further on that time.
Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Sonoma Raceway NASCAR circuit is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Smells like we've got Richard Rossier in their crosshairs. A brilliant maneuver from Smells Like We, who has just moved up the field.
That's what we like to see. Smells Like We is really showing their class today.
As a former racing driver, Hal, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, Rob. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
Hold on to your seats. Jerry Yu's turning the heat up on Richard Rossier, closing in for the kill.
This is more than a race, it's a battle of wills, of nerve, of sheer determination.
Looks like Richard Rossier is legging it from Jerry Yu. The gap's growing like a well-watered wattle as they zoom through T8. What do you think, Hal? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Rob. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
With that gap, Armin Suneuler's practically drafting off Megasaurus 55A.
Exactly. They're so close, it's like they're sharing the same race line. If racing was a rodeo, Megasaurus 55's riding that bull and not letting go.
Haha, down under we'd say they're clinging on like a possum in a gum tree. Lars is looking to take advantage of that error as they get in range of Armin Suneuler. That's going to give them the pull they need to mount a challenge very soon.
It's a close race as we can see, and Armin Suneuler is doing a great job defending their position. Will Lars be able to squeeze through?
The gap between Lars and Armin Sonoma is razor thin as they vie for 7th in this nail-biting contest. It seems like Lars is on fire. They have just put in their best lap.
Can Lars keep improving?
There's a storm brewing, and it's got Mr. Bang's name on it. Andreas Dittmann, batten down the hatches, it's coming for you. Crikey, Mr. Bang is losing touch with Andreas Dittmann quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline. The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. Megasaurus 55 is placed 6th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Armin Sonoma, who is 1.6 seconds behind.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
No worries for Megasaurus 55, who's leaving Armin Sonoma for dust, as though they're a parched bloke chasing the beer van. It looks like Lars is pushing hard to catch up to Armin Sonoma. The gap is over a second, but Lars is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Armin Sonoma?
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Armin Sonoma is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Lars and P8 doing everything they can to catch up.
Blimey, Megasaurus 55's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Jerry Yu is growing. It's now up to 1.4 seconds. The race is heating up as Lars in 8th closes in on Armin Sonoma. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Lars tries to reel in Armin Sonoma. But Armin Sonoma is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Lars find some extra pace to bring the fight to Armin Sonoma?
In a race where seconds count, Megasaurus 55 is counting on less of them between themselves and Jerry Yu, much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard your Yu's favorite song? Maybe Megasaurus 55 can play it to distract them and close that gap, just a thought.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Jerry Yu is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. The gap might be more than a second, but Richard Rossier is showing persistence, kind of like me breaking development. That won't be ideal for Roel Postma.
Roel Postma is not going to be happy about that.
The chase music's playing in Megasaurus 55's head as they reel in Jerry Yu, moment by nail-biting moment. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Megasaurus 55, lagging behind Jerry Yu and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Rossier, who is currently in P4, but smells like we is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Rossier.
I agree, Richard Rossier is putting in the effort, sort of like me at karaoke night. Not sure about the results, but full points for enthusiasm.
Like a scene from a thriller, Megasaurus 55's on Jerry Yu's tail, hungry for that spot.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Megasaurus 55 should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Jorg Yu.
Stop the press. Oh dear, Megasaurus 55 has had an incident. It's a battle of wills out there, with Richard Rossier trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Smells Like We. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? As Armin Sunoiler trails Jerry Yu, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point, determined, but always just a tad behind.
Absolutely, Armin Sunoiler in 6th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Fair dinkum, Armin Sunoiler is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Jerry Yu is now down to a whisker at 3.4 seconds.
Just what Armin Sunoiler needed, like sweet tea on a hot day. Can't let Jorg Yu out of sight for too long.
Looks like Richard Rossier is trying to chase down Smells Like We, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. Looking at the lap times, Richard Rossier is not on pace with Smells Like We. Can they turn it around?
Can Richard Rossier turn this around?
A strong showing from Jerry Yu, who is currently 5th. Jerry Yu is burning rubber like there's no tomorrow. Armin Sunoiler needs to show some ticker if they want to close that gap.
Well, Rob, as we say in North Carolina, the race ain't over till the checkered flag. Let's see if Armin Sunoiler...
Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from Andreas Dittmann. This could be costly. As vast as the azure stretches of the Great Barrier Reef, so does Andreas Dittmann's path ahead a Euro, filled with mystique and myriad challenges.
Kind of reminds me of fishing in the vast Carolina Blue A Euro. A big catch might just be a castaway. Races are the ballads of the asphalt. They ebb, flow, and crescendo. And just when you think the melody of Euro is predictable, comes the surprise note.
Crikey, Megasaurus 55's got a gap ahead as vast as the Simpson Desert. The bloke's really got to pull up his socks to close that chasm.
Sure as sugar, down in Carolina, we'd say they're trailing like a turtle in a rabbit race.
Good news for Megasaurus 55, the gap to Armin Sunoiler has decreased. It's now down to 2.7 seconds.
Now this is what we call real racing. It's anyone's race, wide open as a Carolina sky. Who's gonna step up and take us to victory lane?
By the looks of it, Mike O'Hagan's got roll postma beat by a country mile. It'd take a blunder from Mike O'Hagan for our mate to even sniff a chance.
Kinda like waiting on rain during a Carolina summer, rare but not impossible. We've all seen storms roll in fast over the Carolina pines. Just takes a gust of wind or a slip to change this whole race around. Keep those eyes peeled.
Roll postma seems to be losing the plot with Mike O'Hagan. They'll need to buck up their ideas as they dive into T9 and aim for a ripper exit to gain some ground. You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
If racing were a dance, Richard Rossier would be trying to lead, but Smells Like We just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up. The gap between Smells Like We and Richard Rossier is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Smells Like We to bring Richard Rossier into play.
That's very true, and Richard Rossier knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Smells Like We to make a mistake if they want to have any chance of overtaking.
crowd is on tender hooks as Richard Rossier in fourth chases after Smells Like We. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Richard Rossier find a way to catch up? It's not going to plan for Richard Rossier. They are still behind Smells Like We and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Megasaurus 55 trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Armin Sunoiler. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Megasaurus 55 close in enough to mount a challenge? Megasaurus 55 has just put in a faster lap than Armin Sunoiler, so that's going to give them something to worry about.
As long as Megasaurus 55 can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
It's looking good for Mr. Bang, sitting in 8th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
You wouldn't read about it. Mr. Bang is putting a fair whack of space between them and Andreas Dittmann.
Yeah, Rob, Mr. Bang's really hitting the gas. But can Andreas Dittmann kick it into high gear and catch up?
The tension is building as Richard Rossier trails behind Smells Like We. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Smells Like We hold on, or will Richard Rossier be able to close them down?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Richard Rossier in fourth determined to catch up. But we know Smells Like We isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Richard Rossier is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Armin Sunoiler is on a mission, chasing Jerry Yu, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. It looks like Armin Sunoiler is making a move. The gap to Jerry Yu is now down to 0.6 seconds.
Now ain't that something? Armin Sunoiler is right on it. Just needs to keep the pedal to the metal to tailgate your Yu.
It's a brilliant day for racing here at Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
It's hotter out there than an Aussie summer day, mate. Reckon Armin Sunoiler can catch some shade behind Jerry Yu?
Shade here, we call that drafting. Let's see if they can stay cool and make a move. If not, there's always the AC in the pit, the stopwatch doesn't lie, and the shrinking gap is telling a tale of a hunter closing in on its prize.
Watching Richard Rossier try to close the gap on Smells Like We is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes. If Richard Rossier doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. With steely determination and laser focus, Armin Sunoiler is homing in on Jerry Yu. The battle lines are drawn. Armin Sunoiler is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Jerry Yu to 0.3 seconds. It may seem like Richard Rossier is far behind, but Smells Like We can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Richard Rossier an opening to catch up.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the equation, Richard Rossier can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus and wait for any opportunity to arise.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
You know what they say, keep your friends close and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Armin Sunoiler is taking that advice to heart today.
Armin Sunoiler could be on a charge here, how they have just put in a quicker lap than Jerry Yu.
The question is now, can your Yu respond to that in kind? They're going to have to pick up the pace.
It looks like Richard Rossier is pushing hard to catch up to Smells Like We. The gap is over a second, but Richard Rossier is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Smells Like We?
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Richard Rossier is trying to whip up a winning dish. It smells like we keeps hiding the main ingredient.
Well, don't come the raw prawn. Richard Rossi is giving it some stick, pulling Smells Like We into a mere 0.4 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
So, how, considering the high speeds and split-second decision-making involved in racing, what's the impact of even a minor lapse in concentration?
A minor lapse in concentration can have significant consequences, Rob. It could lead to an off-track excursion, a loss of position, or even a collision. That's why it's crucial for drivers to stay focused and alert throughout the race.
Wow, Richard Rossier is really pushing hard to catch up to Smells Like We. There's blood in the water for third place. We are used to seeing some hard-fought but clean racing here at Assetto Corsa, friends. I'm expecting to see nothing different here today as this race unfolds. The battle for 5 is heating up as Armin Sunoiler tries to catch Jerry Yu in P5.
It's a pressure cooker out there. Every second shaved off means Armin Sunoiler is a step closer to tasting victory.
Bloody oath, Armin Sunoiler is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Jerry Yu down to a scant 0.3 seconds. This race is getting even more intense. The drivers are pushing each other to the limit.
It's like they're playing a game of chicken, but with cars. And the winner gets to take home the checkered flag and bragging rights.
Ha ha, that's one way to put it. These drivers have to be in top physical and mental shape to compete at this level.
It's like they're training for the Olympics. And like you said, the mental fortitude required to stay focused and alert for the entire race is wild.
I think I need a nap just watching them. Everyone's on the edge of their seats, or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Andreas Dittmann is getting closer to Mr. Bang, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again, but Andreas Dittmann, keep pushing.
It's not looking good for Andreas Dittmann. They are still behind Mr. Bang and the gap is increasing. They are going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Armin Sunoiler will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Armin Sunoiler and Jerry Yu.
They'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
The excitement is palpable. This is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
This is edge-of-the-seat stuff. Armin Sunoiler is relentlessly hunting down Jerry Yu. Who'll blink first?
I think they are going to take them.
The gap might be more than a second, but Megasaurus 55 is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give.
That's right. Megasaurus 55 in 7th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Armin Sunoiler is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Megasaurus 55 is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Armin Sunoiler at the moment. Oh, the chase is on. Armin Sunoiler's breathing down the neck of Jerry Yu. It's game on now. Armin Sunoiler has closed the gap to Jerry Yu. It's now down to 0.4 seconds. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are going to need to look after their tires and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tires wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing, and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Armin Sunoiler is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Jury U.
There's a razor-thin line between glory and disaster, and both drivers are dancing right on it.
In a race where seconds count, Mr. Bang is counting on less of them between them. Wait, I don't think that's the fastest way around Sonoma Raceway Nascar circuit. The race is heating up as Mr. Bang in 8th closes in on Megasaurus 55. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It seems like Mr. Bang is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Megasaurus 55.
It will be interesting to see if Megasaurus 55 can keep outpacing Mr. Bang.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Armin Sunoiler NAB it from Megasaurus 55?
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Megasaurus 55 is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Armin Sunoiler and P7 doing everything they can to catch up.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Rossier, who is currently in P4. But Smells Like We is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Rossier. It seems like Richard Rossier has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Smells Like We's lap time there.
We will have to see if Smells Like We has got any answers for that.
Looks like Armin Sunoiler is trying to chase down Megasaurus 55, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results.
Exactly, Armin Sunoiler's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right?
It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Armin Sunoiler and Megasaurus 55.
That's a great effort from Armin Sunoiler. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
Richard Rossier is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Fair dinkum, Richard Rossier is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Smells Like We is now down to a whisker at 0.6 seconds. During your racing career, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Richard Rossier's shadowing Smells Like We, waiting for the slightest misstep.
On this asphalt battlefield, Richard Rossier's determination is the weapon, and Smells Like We is the target.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. It seems like Megasaurus 55 is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Megasaurus 55 refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
Coming into T9, the fight for third is heating up. Who will be the first to blink?
It's a battle of nerves now. Who will make the first mistake? Richard Rossier or Smells Like We? This is high-stakes racing.
Struth, Richard Rossier is not here to muck about. The gap to Smells Like We is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.1 seconds.
This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag.
The pressure is on for Megasaurus 55 as they try to catch up to Jury U.
They say pressure makes diamonds. Well, Megasaurus 55's shining bright, closing in with every heartbeat.
The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Jury U is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun. Richard Rossier is running fourth. They are trying to catch Smells Like We. Good news for Richard Rossier, the gap to Smells Like We has decreased. It's now down to 0.3 seconds. The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track.
It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics, but we all know that's impossible. Or is it? I mean, we're a couple of AI commenting on a race, anything can happen.
Haha, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right.
They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier, or at least the speed limit.
I hope the police aren't watching. The adrenaline is pumping as Megasaurus 55 gets within striking distance of Jury U in their race for fifth.
The chase between Megasaurus 55 and York U is like a high-speed game of tag only. The stakes are much higher.
Megasaurus 55's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Jury U like a dingo after a roadrunner. We often hear drivers complaining about tire graining. How? Can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling?
Graining occurs when small rubber particles roll up on the tire's surface, reducing grip and negatively affecting handling. It usually happens when the tires are not in their optimal temperature window or when a driver is pushing too hard on a cold or overworked tire.
We got a close battle as Megasaurus 55 closes in on Jury U. The gap between Roll Postma in second and Mike O'Hagan remains over a second, but Roll Postma is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 1 minute? Well, don't come the raw prawn. Roll Postma's giving it some stick, pulling Mike O'Hagan into a mere 16.8 seconds. This race has turned into a game of cat and mouse. Megasaurus 50... Wait, now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Whoops, Richard Rossier is going to be kicking themselves.
This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes.
Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug, but seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here.
It looks like Megasaurus 55 is making a move. The gap to Jury U is now down to 0.2 seconds. If racing were a dance, Roll Postma would be trying to lead, but Mike O'Hagan just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up. Roll Postma and Mike O'Hagan have a gap between M that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 29.7 seconds now. Fantastic racing on show here today, and it's not just the top drivers who are impressing us. Even the drivers at the back of the pack are putting up a good fight, battling it out for every position.
It's a testament to the level of competition at Assetto Corsa, friends. Even the smallest mistake can cost you valuable seconds or even lead to a crash, but these drivers are up to the challenge and they're giving it their all. It's clear that Assetto Corsa, friends, really is the place to be for top-quality racing.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Megasaurus 55 is right on the heels of Jury U, and we're in for a wild ride.
With the way Megasaurus 55 is stalking York U, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Megasaurus 55 gaining places and Jury U losing. On the final lap now, and Mike O'Hagan looks like they might just wrap up this win. And it's a checkered flag for Mike O'Hagan, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
You can see the sheer determination on Mike O'Hagan's face as they take the win. That's the mark of a true champion, folks.
Roll Postma takes second place with a fantastic race. Andreas Dittmann brings home ninth. Finishing 8th is Mr. Bang. Impressive drive from Smells Like We to claim the final spot on the podium. Fourth is Richard Rossier. With Megasaurus 55 in 5th. Coming in 6th we have Jury Yu. Taking 7th is Armin Sunoila.